Hello everyone, number 36, branch foil 3, process 1, in a product calculation. Process A vector B vector, A vector times B vector. And this definition equal A vector B vector equal absolute A vector times absolute B vector times cos theta. A vector B vector theta. And parenthesis B, a vector, this component A1, A2, B vector equal B1, B2, then A vector B vector equal A1, B1 plus A2, B2. And this is by 36 branch 3L3. And next, Step 1, A vector B vector equal B vector A vector. Step 2, A vector times B vector plus C vector equal A vector B vector plus A vector C vector. And step 3, K A vector times B vector equal A vector times K B vector equal K times A vector times B vector, A vector B vector. And K is constant number. And proof. A vector, this component A1, A2, B vector equal B1, B2, C vector equal C1, C2. And step 1, proof. Step 1, A vector B vector equal, and this is this component calculation A1, B1 plus A2, B2. By parenthesis 1, parenthesis B. And B vector A vector equal, this is this component calculation, this is then equal. Okay, and take 2, A vector times V vector plus C vector equal, and V vector plus C vector, this calculate. And this is okay. And A vector A vector V vector plus A vector C vector equal, and this is, and this calculate, this is. Then this is equal. And parenthesis and circuit 3, K A vector V vector equal, and this is, then this is. And it's similar. A1 A vector times K V vector equal, this is. And K times A vector V vector equal, this is. Then this is equal. And exercise, A vector equal 3, 4, B vector equal minus 1, 2, C vector equal 2 minus 3, this component. And step 1, and calculate A vector plus 3, B vector plus 2, C vector. Step 2, A vector, B vector. And take 3, A vector times B vector plus 2C vector. Answer. And step 1, A vector plus 3b vector plus 2c vector equal this is, and this is. And circle 2, a vector b vector equal, this inner product equal 3 times minus 1 and 4 times 2. Then this is, and take 3 a vector times b vector plus 2c vector equal by parenthesis 1 circle 2 circle 3. Then a vector b vector plus a vector 2c vector equal 2ac vector. Okay. And equal this component calculation AB and VC. And this is then minus 7. And or A vector times B vector plus 2C vector equal B vector plus 2C vector equal and B vector plus 2C and 2C vector equal 4 minus 6 and plus B vector. Then and this is A vector times B vector plus 2C vector. Then minus 7. Okay. Parenthesis 2, A vector equal A1, A2, this component. B vector equal B1, B2. Then A vector times B vector equal A1, B1 plus A2, B2. This is another proof. A vector equal A1, E1 vector plus A2, E2 vector. This is A vector, and B vector equal this is. Okay. E1 vector, E2 vector is fundamental vector by statistics branch 2, L3, parenthesis 3, E1, E2. And A vector, B vector equal this is. And more using by parenthesis 1, circle 1, circle 2. And A vector, B vector equal A1, E1 vector times this is, and A2, E2 vector times this is. And now E1 vector, E1 vector equal by definition. And 1, 1, 1 equal 1. And it's similar, E2 vector, E2 vector, E1 vector, E2 vector, E2 vector, E1 vector. This vector, this angle 90 degrees and 0. E1 vector, E2 vector equals 0. E2 vector, E1 vector equals 0. And this is E1, E1 equal 1. And E1, E2, E2, E1 equals 0. Then A1 B1 times E1 vector E1 vector, and plus E2 B2 times E2 vector E2 vector, and equal 1 1, then A1 B1 plus A2 B2. Okay. It's finished.